This is Ford.
Hello, good morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Very good. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
You're welcome. Okay, so this is the fourth show, and I'll be your interviewer today. My name is Fatima Stephen Auli. So briefly, I'd like you to introduce yourself quickly.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm Israel Sunday. I'm a sales and marketing consultant. Also internet marketer.
Okay. All right. Welcome, Israel Sunday.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so I would like to ask you, what inspired you into your choice of career, internet marketing?
Okay, it's a very funny story, actually, because I'm actually a student. I'm
Okay.
also a student. So during the 1 year strike, like it's over 11-month strike by ASU, I was just at home and I just decided to start up something and just maybe learn a skill.
Okay.
So my church were hosting a kind of vocational training. And since I'm studying mechanical engineering, I decided to join the excavation unit. But when I was there, I was not just flowing with everything. So I was not flowing with everything. And I was like, who will even give me excavator to go and work? And how am I going to see a job? So I decided to join my friend in digital marketing class.
Okay.
So when after the class made sense to me, and I was just seeing so many business opportunities there. So and during that time, I've heard about online marketing and stuff like that. So after the class, I decided that I'm going to start this thing full time, and I picked up some money, and that money I got it from a scholarship I had received earlier.
All right.
So there, I got a course, and that was how I started. And in the process, I found out that this is what I developed passion for this thing. I was not just doing it like every other person, maybe just because of the opportunities. I had passion for this stuff. And
It's a really fascinating story. I'd like to ask you, what's the most challenging moments in your career?
Okay. The most challenging moment is at a time whereby I was doing everything ordinarily, because part of my internet marketing career, I channeled it into affiliate marketing and coaching on sales and marketing. So part of my career was after my first training, because I had this enthusiasm in me, like I just got into the online space and meeting a lot of people and like getting connected to different people. So I was just like, okay, this thing will work for me in maybe 2-3 months. So within that period, when I was learning all this thing, and I found myself putting much effort and getting lesser results. Like I was doing everything literally right, but I was not seeing the results I wanted. And deep down, I know that something is wrong somewhere, but I wasn't able to spot it. And this actually caused some kind of delays. So that was actually my most challenging moment.
Okay. So the fourth show is a podcast that help people to talk about debt and how they can come out of debt. So have you had any debt crisis in your career? Have you had any issues regarding debt and how you've managed it?
Okay, I've not really have any serious debt crisis, but I've learned from my boss in the space of practicing this career. So I've been able to work with one of the biggest entertainment company here in Port Harcourt. So that's the Talkaholic Unlimited.
Okay.
So during our induction and sometime when we are having staff meeting, there was a day my boss just came inside the office and said he wants to share his story with us. And we're like, okay, boss. He said the stories will inspire us, and it really did. So he told us how, because he's into the comedy niche, and here in Port Harcourt, it's like the comedy niche is like not really accepted the way it is in other parts like Lagos and Abuja and all the rest.
Yeah.
So he told us how he started his career as a comedian, how he had to take some debt from some banks, which sometime after the show, like when he had one of his major show, the Mayor of Pitakwa, the first edition, he said after the show, he had a lot, like he did not make any profits from the show, and he was indebted to two banks at the same time in millions. And now we have workers to pay. He have event hall and event managers to pay some debt. He has like different distinct debt. So he was indebted to so many people at the same time, and also indebted to a particular bank. So one thing that he did was, okay, he made a plan how he was going to pay this debt. And because when doing a big event like that, you call so many artists, so many performing acts, and you have to pay them. So he said, okay, in order to pay this debt, he's going to do what we call a one-man show. He's the only performing act, and he is just going to use a particular hall that he can get for a lesser amount
Okay.
than a one-man show, whereby he don't even have to spend much. So from the money he realized from that one-man show, he was able to settle some debt. I think he said he was able to pay the workers at least 60% of their salary. He created a budget and said, okay, from this particular time to this other particular time, I'm going to give out 60% of my income to service this debt in order to avoid accumulation of interest and stuff. And he also utilized other sources of his income. He tried to make sure he wasn't really relaxed, trying to put up a one-man show and trying to get more gigs, more events to manage, and make sure his income flow was steady and consistent. And with the help of his budget and planning, he was able to service the debt.
Okay, that's really amazing. So with the help of your boss, you were able to avoid certain debts. I understand that, and it's really amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. So would you mind telling us some of your money principles and how have you been able to manage your income so far?
Okay, income management is something I love to speak about, especially when I'm always talking about money, because money itself is amoral. Like you can't really tell if it's good or it's bad, depending on what you use it to do and depending on how you get it. So now many people out there are just very, very concerned about making money, but they don't pay attention to actual managing money. Because when I went to a business training, our coach said that there are three steps to wealth, three steps to money management. The first is accumulation, whereby you get wealth. The second is the management, and the third one is actually multiplication.
Okay.
Like you first accumulate, you manage it to some certain, try to accumulate
it. Okay.
So most people skip that management part. One of my principles of money management is actually budgeting.
Okay.
That's really the first that comes to my mind, budgeting. Now, budgeting includes like planning. Brian Tracy, we always call it thinking on paper.
Okay.
Thinking on paper, not just saying, okay, once I earn, and I was talking about budgeting.
Yeah.
So once you're able to create a budget and stick to it, it's not all about just creating a budget. anyone can just write anything and
True.
just make any resolution. But if you are able to make a budget and stick to
And
it,
stick to it.
then
Right.
yes, you'll be able to manage your income. And another aspect of managing your income is cutting down some expenditures, going by priorities. I think they call it the
True.
list of preference. Now, okay, for example, now, my income for the month is 10,000 naira, and
Okay.
I want to buy a shirt of 6,000 naira, and I want to buy food stock of 4,000 naira, and I need maybe textbook for 3,000 naira. So now I have all these all these expenses to make now, and maybe most times it might even be above your income for the month. For you to be able to know, like pick up your pen and know by priorities. Brian Tracy said, when making priorities, you use the ABCD method. Now,
Okay.
after numbering them by 1 to maybe any amount or any maybe 1 to 10, 1 to 20, 1 to 30, then you use your ABCD method. Now, from the one with the highest priority, you put it A, and down to the one with the lesser priority. Now, to me now, maybe buying food stock might be the one with the highest. You just put it A. Then
Okay.
they are the ones, they are like out of all those your stuff, out of those your list of preference now, going by the Pareto's principles, the 80-20 principles. Now, the 20% is going to account to the 80% of your well-being. And now the 80% of those things you have written down is going to account for 20% of your well-being. Now you always look for that top 20. Now, if you have 10, top 20 is the two. Now, what's the most important this thing I'm picking? The first two I'm picking. Or you can say, what's the first three? Because if you want to go by everything you see, you want to get everything you desire to have, they'll you won't be able to manage money. And another point, I just want to give 3 points. The first one is budget. The second one is prioritize spending. The third one is saving and reinvesting, because I don't just like saying saving. Once you just tell someone, just save, and the person will just think you are telling the person just pack all your money and put it into a piggy vest
Into
and just,
yeah.
so most times when we talk about saving, you save and you invest. Now, if I talk to business owners a lot, and mostly not really for personal development, but for business development. Now, if you're having a certain percentage, you should have a certain percentage that you put in back into your business, and a certain percentage you save. Like there's a popular meme, they say the money what they save, now they save me now. So now, so now, if you have a bad saving habits, there's no way you can manage your money.
True.
Because sometimes, whether we like it or not, sometimes we get some expenses that we never planned for. Sometimes we get something we just need. Like someone can present an offer to you now, and maybe you wanted something, maybe you wanted to buy a piece of land, and today is the realtor's birthday. I say, okay, today I'm giving all my customers 50% discount. I know that this will save you more money at the long run. You might go and pick money from, maybe this is not in your lists, or this is not in your
Budget.
your budget, but from your savings you can always have enough to even service debt and reduce recurring interest.
Okay, thank you so much. So before we let you go, what advice do you have for people in debt?
Okay, my advice for people that are in debt is the first thing I would tell them is just to have the right mindset, over their debt management. Now, debt management is the process of effectively managing your debt. And it first starts from what you think out there. Like personally, every approach to life, I think every approach to life starts from your mindset. Now, more if you have a debt now, you think and you're always thinking about why did I even get into this debt at the first place? And what is the possibility? What if I'm not able to pay? You won't be able to pay. If you think you cannot pay, what should I extend it? Should I? But once you have the right mindset, you look at this debt. Okay, I'm owing maybe 60,000 or 100,000, a million naira. Or how am I going to pay it? What is the strategy? How am I going to tackle this? Maybe what am I going to stop? What am I going to sacrifice to make sure I pay this? So debt. My advice to them is face your debt with your